In the beginning was God, and God was one, yet God was many. God was a cloud, both conscious and subconscious. The subconscious was masculine, the father, and the conscious was feminine, the mother. And they were one. And when the two that were one mixed, a third, a sacred sound, was produced in given form. That one was the Son, the eternal and infinite offspring of God. Within that Son was all of the possibilities of God and all of the offspring of God. And they were one with the Son, and the Son was one with the Father and Mother. That Son was the Word, Logos, Tao, which is the sacred sound, the creative expression of God, the love of God, and divine ecstasy. The Word was light, truth, enlightenment, and awakening. And the three that were one breathed together, and their breath became the seven spirits of God. The spirit of the Lord, wisdom, understanding, counsel, might, knowledge, and awe, or the fear of the Lord. And the triune, infinite God created three worlds out of three energies. The spirit world was created from the essence of the Father. The astral, or psychic, soulish world was created from the essence of the Mother, and the natural world was created from the essence of the Son. And the three that were one, and the seven, began to create life within the three worlds. First were the spirits, including angels and other spirit beings. Next came souls, which were crafted out of the fiery, enlightened, and creative collective consciousness where all souls originate, and other astral entities. Then came the many creatures of the natural world, in the land, the sky, and the sea. Now, within the three worlds were an infinity of realms, and within each realm an infinity of dimensions. And within these worlds, realms, and dimensions, the many creations of the three and the seven lived. From eternity, the three that were one, and the seven said, "Let us make man as our image." Together they fashioned man out of the frequencies, energy, and essences of the three worlds. And they named that man Adam, for he was the blood or essence of God made manifest. This Adam was androgynous, bearing the fullness of God, masculine and feminine, in one form. And they gave Adam dominion and mastery over the three worlds. For all that was and could be within those three worlds was within him. One day God put Adam to sleep and separated Adam into two, one masculine and one feminine. With their dominion they were given a command, "Be fruitful and multiply." And they did. As time progressed, they became deceived by a spirit who convinced them that God had something that they didn't. This caused them to separate from God mentally. The Adams then withdrew from fellowship with God and began to withdraw from their divine consciousness. At this point, their lives began to fade as they weren't made to live outside of union with God in any capacity. From this separation came generations of mankind who were ignorant of the love of God and divinity that they were made with. As man lost consciousness of the love of God and their divinity, they stopped caring for creation and eventually gave up their dominion to Satan. From this point, ignorance, death, deception, destruction, and darkness reigned in the world. Without knowledge of God's love or intention or their divinity, identity, or dominion, man's genetics began to match their consciousness, and they became as Satan and lived under the worlds that they were made to govern. God loved man so much that the original and eternal Son volunteered to be sent to remind them and restore them. And the Son took a human form in the natural world as Yeshua. Yeshua came and taught and demonstrated the love of God, divinity of man, and God's empire. He didn't come teaching something new, but something that has always been true, but had been long forgotten by most. Eventually, he offered himself as a sacrifice, sowing himself as a seed for the awakening and restoration of humanity. For within him was all of mankind, and within mankind were the three worlds and every creature in them. Yeshua's death, burial, and resurrection were a mass death, burial, and resurrection. This is the restoration of all things. As mankind is resurrected and restored, so too are the three worlds. In the end, all things will be brought back into God's original design, or the Word. All things will be restored. Death, destruction, ignorance, and deception will be removed, and the love of God will reign forever after.